Hi, my name is Sharon. I'm here with Eric Byler. Eric, can you please tell us about your background or a little bit about your background?
I was born in Los Angeles. My father joined the military after I was born, and I grew up in places like Northern Virginia, Northern California, and Honolulu. My mother's Chinese American, fourth generation, and my father is of different European ancestries.
What is it exactly that you do?
What do? I make films. I also am beginning to be involved in television as well, and I am beginning to be involved in community grassroots activism.
What were some of your influences? Like, when you moved around, did some of those things influence you to choose the film route?
Um, what influenced me to be a filmmaker? I would say that I think the most influential thing for me was this very strange, the timing of a move when my father was transferred from Fort Belvoir in Northern Virginia to Fort Shafter in Honolulu, Hawaii. Um, I was 12 years old, and at that time I looked a lot more Asian than I do now. And I had had a lot of problems with the Caucasian kids in my school because I was one of only three Asian American kids at the school, and the other two were very sort of like model minority, keeping their head down, not drawing a lot of attention to themselves. But I was kind of a loudmouth, hotshot, showing off on the playground, and that not only got me in trouble with the kids, it actually got me in trouble with the teachers as well. And the year before, my mother had me transferred to another school because she was convinced that my teacher was a racist. Um, when we moved from Virginia to Honolulu, um, that happened to correspond with my adolescence, and so I began to change to look more like I do now, more Caucasian. And so suddenly, on the playgrounds in Hawaii, I was getting in similar altercations with the kids, except for the exact opposite infraction. And I think there's something about that sense of endless marginalization. Like there is no real solution other than to embrace that you are different, and then to try to make sense of that. Um, that experience, I find, is pretty much universal for someone who becomes an artist. That rather than feeling pain or sorrow and just dealing with it, you decide to make it into art.
So, did you experience any obstacles when you got out to the real world and
Hmm.
to when producing these films? Like, did you face any obstacles compared to everyone else?
Well, the biggest obstacle for any artist is competition.
Exactly.
So, of course, that can be demoralizing for a lot of people. And I've always said to young artists who ask me for advice is that I've said that the ones who succeed are the ones who don't give up. And I was very fortunate because soon after I graduated from college, um, I had a minor success in that my senior thesis film went to Sundance and was nominated for the Student Academy Award. And it was called Kenji's Faith, and there was a little boy in it who was Asian, and he was the star of the movie. So in Los Angeles, there was an already a very strong, committed community of Asian Pacific American artists who sort of took me under wing and said, Eric, you're going to be the guy. You're going to make this feature film now. You're going to make an Asian American feature film, Eric. And I said, okay, I could write an Asian American feature film. And so I started to think about ways that I could sort of live up to this expectation that my new friends had for me. Um, and the more time I spent around them, the more time I spent, going to see their performances or readings that they would do of their plays or performance art, the more I began to share the goal that I think most Asian Americans who enter the arts are sort of motivated by, and that is to improve the ways in which Asian Pacific Americans are portrayed in mainstream media. For me, the blessing was that I had this very strong, active, passionate community to encourage and to support, my career. So I didn't give up. In the 8 years that it took for me to get Charlotte Sometimes into production. And so when someone asks me if being Asian Pacific American has been an obstacle, I actually have to say no, it was the thing that saved me.